Hey guys, I'm Sarah and welcome to my day. I'm gonna do kind of what I consider to be my quick skincare and makeup routine for days off where I don't want to just go out with nothing on, but a day that I want to put just a little bit of something on and I don't want to do a full face. So I'm gonna kind of go through my skincare and my simple makeup. I always start with the Pixie Retinol Tonic. I was using the Glow Tonic, but the last time I went to Target, they were out. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to get this so I have something. And I've actually been really enjoying it, and it's very refreshing. It's got anti-aging stuff in it, which is good because I'm 34 and would prefer to, not look any older. And I just put it on a reusable cotton round. These are from Marleys Monsters on Etsy. I got these a couple years ago and I love them because it's a lot less waste than using just a cotton ball or a cotton round that you would throw out. So, that's just me. That's just what I like. I will maybe leave a link somewhere so that way you guys can check them out if you'd like. And then I just use the Derma E Vitamin C Serum. This stuff smells like Fruit Loops, so I've been obsessed. This is my second bottle, and I just kind of put it around my face, like a little smear, and then I just like to tap it and really press it into the skin to kind of get it into my skin and bring it down to my double chin and my neck, and just kind of let that sit and breathe for a second because I don't want to just put stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff without giving everything a chance to dry in the middle. So yeah, how's your day going? I hope everyone is good on this Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day you're watching this. I had somebody recently, one of my girlfriends was like, oh, you should become a beauty influencer. You should make YouTube videos. And I was like, well, I'm not that great, but I have information to share. Might not be the best information, but it's a little something, so why not give it a go? And then I'm going to do the e.l.f. Beauty Shield little eye serum. Got this for $8. Eye serum was not something that I was using in my eye routine until a couple days ago, and I was like, well, I probably should because I'm 34 and I have some wrinkles and I feel like I'm getting old. So I got it for $8. I really couldn't complain, but I'm really looking for a good quality eye serum for someday. The Drunk Elephant one is definitely on my watch list. And then actually my stepdad owns a wellness clinic where they do injectables and such, and his medical esthetician was like, oh, you should try this stuff. Told me about it. You can order it on Amazon, which is great. It's $102. And I'm like, I really don't have that kind of money right now. And then I always, day off or not, use sunscreen. This is the IPKN stuff from, I got it on Sephora or Ulta. I've got it somewhere. It smells good. I don't know if it's cruelty-free. Not everything I currently use is cruelty-free. Yes, I know. Kind of makes me feel like crap, but I'm trying to find good alternatives that work. And I just haven't found anything that I personally like for my skin. So when I do, I will definitely switch. But for now, I'm just going to use what I have because I've already paid for it. And then I will, switch when I can. If you hear people yelling, it's my neighbors. They do this every day, all day. It's really great. And by really great, I mean it's really annoying, but you know what? Welcome to Northeast Philadelphia. So once I finish with sunscreen, I always do just kind of from here up because I have a body sunscreen that I will eventually use. Then to moisturize, I use the Hello Hydration face cream from e.l.f. This stuff's amazing. I actually really love it. It's got hyaluronic acid in it, which is really good for skin, kind of helps to moisturize. Now, I typically have normal skin. Doesn't get too oily, doesn't get too dry. Kind of depends on my skincare if I'm keeping up on it or not. It's changed over the years. I used to have really oily T-zone. Sometimes I get really dry on my cheeks and my chin. But I just, right now I've been having good skin days, so I'm not going to complain. So I really want to make sure that I massage that all in so that way it takes some of the excess off. And then gets spread out everywhere. And then same thing, I kind of let that sit for a minute. This way, you know, it can kind of like sink into the skin and I'm not just dumping a whole bunch of stuff everywhere. It's really annoying. Then, yes, I don't use all cruelty-free stuff, don't kill me, but I've actually been using MAC Studio Fix 24-hour concealer as my foundation. Now, one of my girlfriends that I've known since I lived in Florida a million years ago, she's a MAC makeup artist here in the Philadelphia area, and she was like, oh, just use that. So I've been doing this. This is my second tube of it. So I just use it. So I just use my beauty sponge to kind of dab it all in. It's pretty light and pretty buildable, which is nice because not always do I want this crazy foundation, like super coverage. I don't, again, I have been lucky enough to have been born with good genes to where I don't need a super high coverage, full coverage makeup. Even on days where I get a little extra done up, I don't really like a super full coverage because it just feels really heavy. But that's just my preference. You know, everybody's got their own preference. So I just use this, and it's actually been working really well. It doesn't get too cakey, doesn't get too intense, which I like. And it just works out well. Again, once I find something that works for me, that is cruelty-free, I'll be super happy. But I've tried like Wet n Wild, I've tried e.l.f. foundation. That always gets super cakey and starts falling apart within a few hours on my skin. So I'm having a hard time finding a good alternative to this MAC stuff. But, you know, if it ain't broke, why fix it? For now, again, it's already been paid for. I have it. I'm going to use it. Now, my friend who is the MAC artist, she does tell me they have pamphlets in their tool belts that talk about how MAC as a company is cruelty-free. They don't test on animals. They don't own any testing facilities. Now, yes, they do sell in China, but they don't own those facilities. So, you know, take it as you will. If you prefer to follow cruelty-free stuff, you know, it's all kind of beauty in the eye of the beholder. So everybody has different levels. Like if you feel like supporting a company that themselves they don't test, but their parent company does, you know, to each their own, I guess. And for me right now, this is what I'm gonna do. But just tap it all in. I always go in and do my eyes last, just because I don't want to give them extra time to get super creasy. So this way I do my under eye and then my eyelid, and then I instantly just jump to my powder. So I've been using Studio Fix from MAC, of course. They go really well together. I like to use the same brands when it comes to foundation and powder. And then I just use a Real Techniques brush. This is actually one of my favorite brushes, and I have two of them. And I just kind of like tap it on my eye area, checking to make sure I haven't started creasing yet, which I haven't. If you do, just, you know, grab that beauty sponge and tap it all out. This way it doesn't crease, and this is gonna just be my eyeliner or eyeshadow for the day, because I'm not gonna do eyeshadow. And then I just use that same brush to kind of get into the little cracks and crevices that my bigger brush won't necessarily fit in. And then I just switch over to my It Cosmetics, wow, It brushes, and just kind of like swirl around, and then I just dab on the places where I know I get a little extra shiny and oily. I don't know if anyone here has ever gotten Botox before. I've gotten Botox twice, and anytime I get it, it like stretches out your skin or relaxes the muscle so much you're always shiny in your forehead. It's the craziest thing. And I remember I was going to my sister's wedding, and I was just so shiny in my forehead, and I was went to an e.l.f. store when they were still around, and the gal was like, yeah, you're not oily, it's just, you know, your skin is so taut that you know, there's not enough powder will stop it. So I've been using this Between the Sheets cheek blush from color pop as a blush. Now, me being the person that I am and not paying attention, I should have probably done this before my powder, but you know what? It's my day off. I got day off brain, and I'm trying to deal with these people driving me nuts. But I just put it on my damp beauty sponge and just kind of like press it into my skin. And it puts this really nice layer of blush, and it's buildable. And I kind of like it versus a powder sometimes. Sometimes I use a powder blush. Sometimes I use this cream one. And it looks really pretty. And it can be subtle. You know, you can build it up so it's a little bit more, you know, visible, a little less subtle, a little more extra. Yeah, I just have really been liking it, and I think it's super pretty. And it's a really good color. I actually got this from a friend of mine. She wasn't using it, so she gave it to me, and I was like, all right, sweet, I'm gonna use it. And then sometimes, you know, I put a little on the top of my nose. It's just kind of that little like sun-kissed look, like I've been out in the sun, but I haven't been out in the sun, and I haven't gotten a sunburn. Sunburns are the devil, truly. And I grew up in South Florida, so, and as you can see, I'm very fair-skinned, so I definitely burn easily, and it's not fun. So I just try to skip out on spending too much time in the sun. All right, I'm gonna just put a little bit of powder on top of that to set it so it doesn't go anywhere throughout the day. Pretty simple, nothing too cakey, which I like. And then using everybody's favorite Morphe 510 brush for highlight. I'm going to use the Babe in Paradise highlighter palette. I don't often use it just because I forget. And I'm going to use the Baby Girl. And just tap it off and just put a little bit. Sometimes I go a little bit buck wild with my highlighter. Right now I'm just kind of focusing on like a V shape on the side of my face here, and then just kind of swirl it all around. And you know what, if it goes everywhere, if I get too much, it's just makeup, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. I would love to know if anyone else has crazy neighbors, because mine are absolutely nuts. They drive us nuts. They're always fighting, they're always screaming. So while I'm not surprised this is happening, I'm really frustrated that, you know, they couldn't wait till later to fight. You know, they should have known that I was going to do this. Then I'm just going to take an e.l.f. Ultra Precise brow pencil and just kind of underline my eyebrows. Now, I do have my eyebrows microbladed. I got them done just over a year ago, but sometimes I like to just fill them in. The color has started to fade a little bit. But since I've been out of work for so long, I don't really have the money to go get them touched up. But I will eventually redo them, because not having to do my brows every day, or days that I just get up and I don't do my makeup, as somebody who's naturally blonde but dyes their hair dark, I really look silly when I don't have eyebrows. I feel really self-conscious. So just kind of underline the bottom of it, and just to kind of like give them some definition. I go back and do this one again. That looks alright. Just make sure they're kind of even. Now again, because my eyebrows are microbladed, I don't really have to do too much as far as like shaping them, which I like. And then I just use the back end of the brush to kind of blend it up a little bit and just make it look like a little bit of a less harsh line. And yeah, still looks pretty nice. And then I take the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and this is lighter, so I have a lighter brow pencil and brow gel for days off, so it just kind of like blends in. And then the days where I actually like sculpt out and use my Anastasia dip brow, that's a bit darker, so it matches my hair a bit more. But I don't, on days where I don't wear a lot of makeup and I just want to do something quick and simple, I actually like this lighter brow setup that I do. But you know, you can compare it to this one. This one's a little bit more defined. but it still kind of looks fresh. Looks good. Kind of makes it look like I have my life together, which I definitely don't. But just little light strokes. Now I see a lot of girls doing the bushy, brow, where their brow hairs everywhere. It looks so beautiful on some of these girls. And then I tried it a few times and I was like, this fluffy brow trend is not for me. Especially since I have my eyebrows microbladed and I have such naturally light brows. It just looks a little funny for me. But for those of you who love it, man, I think it's such a beautiful trend. It just doesn't really fit my face, I don't think. So, brows, face, that's all good. Lastly, one more step. I've been using Better Than Sex mascara forever. And I was like, okay, I want to try something else because I wasn't loving it. And actually, some of you guys were talking about it. And then some of my girlfriends said, use the Essence mascara. And I actually have been really liking this. And for $5, like, I'm not mad. It doesn't flake on me. It comes off really easily when I try to rinse it off. I haven't really had a good cry in them yet, so don't know how waterproof it is. But this is the Sculpted Volume Mascara. And it's Lash Princess, which, if you didn't know, Sarah actually means princess, so I'm pretty special. So I just, do the mascara thing. You know how to do mascara. You just brush it through your eyelashes and hope and pray that you don't, hit your eyelid or your eyebrow or your nose. I do that often. And then I'm like, I don't know how to girl. Been a girl for 34 years and sometimes I'm like, I am just doing this wrong. But it usually takes me a while to do my lashes. My lashes also pretty blonde. And they're pretty thin, just like the rest of my hair. But I just, keep it going until I get my lashes looking the way that I want them to. I've always wanted to get lash extensions. I think it's such a cool idea. But I know the maintenance on it is pretty expensive, and when they start falling out, you kind of look a little silly. So maybe I'll just stick to not getting lash extensions and save my money and put it towards, maybe getting Botox again. Because I'll tell you what, I'm a person who gets migraines really bad. And the 2 times I've had Botox, I didn't get headaches at all. And it was amazing. So I definitely think it's worth it. And then, having my wrinkles smooth out. Yes, I have wrinkles. That was really nice. A lot of people are like, you don't need Botox. You're beautiful. You don't have wrinkles. I'm like, well, you don't sit with a mirror and stare at your forehead as often as I do. And I see them, and they make me crazy. And I'm one of those people where if you feel self-conscious about something and you want to take the steps to fix it, correct it, whatever words you want to use, if it'll make you feel better about yourself, I'm all for it. I've had some work done myself and I have no regrets. Then there's people who don't want to do all that, and that's fine too. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, then you do what makes you happy. Alright, so one more step, and I just use the Morphe Continuous Mist Setting Spray. I really like this. I was using a Cover FX one, but the pump, sometimes I got a lot of, like heavier spray dots on my face, and I was not a big fan of that, and I was surprised for it being a pretty high-end brand. Maybe I got a bad nozzle, I don't know, but I kind of like this aerosol because it's such a fine mist that I don't have the big heavy droplets. And then I, with the other stuff, I used to take my beauty sponge and just kind of dab it out, but here I don't. So really that's it. This is what I do, again, for my simple days, and then I just kind of like go because I feel pretty, and it's pretty simple, and only took about 20 minutes. So probably would have took less time, but obviously if I'm talking to my phone, then it takes a little bit longer. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you later. Bye.